The United States has just seized a second oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. This is not an accident. This is not routine enforcement. And it raises a much bigger question. Is America tightening the grip on illegal oil trade, or are we witnessing the early stages of a larger geopolitical confrontation? According to U.S. officials, American authorities have seized a second oil tanker operating near Venezuela's coastline. The tanker is suspected of transporting Venezuelan crude oil in violation of U.S. sanctions. U.S. agencies, working alongside maritime enforcement forces, intercepted the ship and took control of its cargo. This marks the second seizure in a short period of time, signaling that Washington is increasing pressure on Venezuela's oil exports. Officials say the tanker was part of a network designed to bypass international sanctions by disguising ownership, manipulating shipping routes, and falsifying documentation.
Venezuela holds the largest proven oil reserves in the world. But its oil industry has been crippled by years of sanctions, corruption, and mismanagement under President Nicolás Maduro. The U.S. government argues that oil revenues are being used to prop up an authoritarian regime and undermine democratic processes. By seizing oil tankers, the United States aims to enforce sanctions, disrupt illegal oil sales, and prevent sanctioned money from flowing back to the Maduro government. From Washington's perspective, this is about law enforcement and national security, not aggression.
Venezuela's government strongly rejects that claim. President Nicolás Maduro has called the seizure modern-day piracy and accused the United States of violating international law. Caracas argues that these actions are acts of economic warfare designed to strangle Venezuela's economy and punish its people. The Venezuelan government has also warned that continued seizures could escalate tensions in the region, especially as global energy markets remain fragile. This isn't just about the U.S. and Venezuela. Countries like China and Russia have economic and strategic interests in Venezuelan oil. Any disruption in supply adds pressure to global oil markets, potentially raising fuel prices for American consumers. Energy analysts warn that continued enforcement actions could increase volatility in oil prices, push Venezuela closer to Russia and China, and reshape energy trade routes across the world. In other words, a single tanker seizure can send shockwaves far beyond the Caribbean. Some analysts believe this is part of a larger geopolitical strategy. As the U.S. confronts Russia in Eastern Europe and China in the Pacific, Latin America is once again becoming a strategic battleground. By enforcing sanctions aggressively, Washington sends a clear message. The United States controls the global financial and maritime system, and violations will not be ignored. But critics warn that aggressive enforcement risks pushing rivals into tighter alliances and increasing global instability. The seizure of a second oil tanker off Venezuela's coast is more than a headline. It's a signal that the United States is doubling down on sanctions enforcement, a signal that energy, security, and geopolitics are once again deeply connected. The real question is not whether the U.S. can seize these tankers, but how far this confrontation will go. Do you think the U.S. is right to seize these oil tankers, or is this risking a wider global conflict? Leave your opinion in the comments, subscribe for in-depth global analysis, and turn on notifications for the latest world news.